Hello, 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 everybody. Well, well,
Let's-
well.
Hello.
Well.
Well. We've got a couple of guest players here with me today. Hi, I'm Ying Yang Wang. I am your normally scheduled dungeon scrawler. But today with me are some special guest players, two of whom you've probably met before or know very well, and another one you might know very well, but who's never played with us before, but who I'm really excited to have. And I feel like she's making like a huge entrance. Like she's purposely like not on stage and she's about to just appear.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So real quick, do you two want to introduce yourselves again, just in case there's anybody out there that doesn't know you?
Hi, I'm Lauren Durbin. I'm the content coordinator over at Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can find me on Twitter as OboLauren. You can find me here whenever I have a spare moment.
Hello. I'm Trevor Bettis. I'm the community manager for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can find me on Twitter at the Trevor. There's an A hiding in there.
And you just timed your entrance perfectly,
It's so
just in time
good.
to give your intro.
Yeah.
Who you be?
Oh, you're muted.
You muted.
Sorry. I'm
No, you're fine.
Kathleen. I'm Kathleen. I'm very good at using technology. I'm very organized, as you can tell. I'm from an online comedy group called Loading Ready Run. If you like Magic the Gathering content, you may have seen some of the work I do. I also do some charity fundraising for a group called Desert Bus for Hope that raises money for Child's Play every year. And I am here to play games. I'm just trying to pull up other stuff and send a tweet and stuff. And I timed this out really well. I'm very good at everything.
Well, it was great that you stepped away so that I could like build up your entrance and your reveal to everybody. It's like, ta-da!
I'm here.
Yeah, so I have to tell the story about how Kathleen and I, or how at least I got my first impression of Kathleen. Because it was funny to me, I guess. So we worked on a super secret project that may or may not be related to Magic the Gathering. And at one point, we were like casually talking for some reason as a group about like what we did over the weekend. And I said something like, I'm really happy because over the weekend I raised like $1,000 for charity. And then Kathleen said something like, oh, that's really good that you raise money for charity. And I was like, yeah, do you like do it too or something? And she's like, yeah, I help run $1 million charity every year. And I was like,
I didn't say it like that.
No, you did not say it like that. Absolutely not. But like I basically read it like that and I was like, oh, well, thank you. It's so nice of you. You're like so kind about it and like, being genuinely excited for me and the $1,000 that I raised. So I was like, oh, Kathleen is cool people. I should like talk to her more.
I would say raising $1,000 is still actually really, really impressive as far as
yeah.
the charity fundraising streams go. So like,
Yeah,
cool.
no, but you were great. Like you were so gracious about it and it made me just want to get to know you more.
Aw, well, thank you. So original Angston in your chat says loading ready run. I remember watching the Ravnica sausage adventure. I wrote the Ravnica sausage adventure.
Yay!
The high point of my DMing career.
I know I'm still new to the Loading Ready Run content, but now I must hunt that down.
It's called By Law and Order. And like if you read any Ravnica lore, and I do because it's my favorite plane.
It's great.
They mention how everything is the 10th district, and the existence of the 10th district also implies the existence of districts 1 through 9 at least. And not all of them could be good or interesting or important to greater Ravnican civilization. So my thought was, why don't we set something in the 6th district where nothing important happens, but something actually very important happens. But it's sort of cloaked in bureaucracy. And it's just people trying to update the Ravnican sausage standards. But the Living Guild Pact is never there to sign this new thing. And like every episode, I would reveal a new reason why the old Ravnican sausage standards needed to be revised, because there's like, no longer will they be allowed to be like 14% toenails by volume, right?
Well, I have just saved that playlist and I cannot wait to watch this.
I have been a fan of Dice Friends for a while, so I can
Dice
vouch
Friends.
for Dice Friends being lots of fun.
Yay!
I'm a big fan of like any adventure that centers around like bureaucracy and like untangling laws and gathering signatures. Yeah, we definitely don't have enough stories like that.
Or I'm a fan of any adventure that takes that revolves around food Anything that is snack related, pie related, food related, whether it's serious or not, that makes me happy. So
Well, that makes me really happy that you say you love food and you have a strong opinion about like foods and adventures, because that may or may not be related to the adventure that we're having today.
My
ooh,
gosh.
spoilers.
Yeah. Well, in general, we know that one of you has inherited a cafe in Westgate. Dun dun dun. And in the running of said cafe, food probably comes to the picture.
Could be.
It's a
So-
very interesting cafe if there is no food. That could be.
Ooh,
I mean, it
I
could
found
be.
those. I don't like them.
Yeah,
they
because
bold
it was
choice.
cat cafe or one of those owl cafes, and
I
where
think
people
they
come
still
just to.
serve food though.
Do they? I always
Yeah.
figure people just literally go there for petting animals. I
mean,
really
that's
do.
That's how they make their money. The only cafes that don't serve food are like done by like very like black turtleneck kind of coffee types, and they name their cafe like Nemesis or something like that.
Oh,
Like,
welcome
all the-
Raiders.
All the cats at Nemesis are just super nasty, and if you can manage to
Somehow
have
they
one
all
come
smoke
over,
cloves.
yeah. If you have one come over and intentionally ignore you, that's how you know you're cool.
Yeah. They constantly are playing Depeche Mode, but it's sung by cats.
Oh, like the musical?
Meow,
That
meow,
ooh.
meow.
Whoa. That was
We just made the most
great.
terrifying crossover of Depeche Mode and the stage production of Cats.
Wow, I'm so excited to put your group in charge of a cafe and just see like what decisions your group makes now.
I mean,
Oh,
honestly,
boy.
any crossover with the stage musical Cats and anything else is interesting and terrifying. I've played in that pit before. It's not fun.
Oh, thank you so much for the tier 1 gift sub, D&D Jordan Lee. Oh, D&D Jordan Lee. So D&D Jordan Lee was going to play with us today also, but unfortunately she couldn't make it last minute. So, it's good that you're here, and I wish I wish you could join the group still. And, let's get you into a one-shot sometime in the future.
Heck yeah. Jordan's the best.
Absolutely. So you've talked about how you're doing a whole bunch of one-shots in between the two big campaigns. Can you spoil any of those other one-shots? Do you know how many you're doing? Are they all one-shots, or are there like little mini adventures?
They're mostly one-shots. We do have one planned two-shot. We're going to be bringing Jake from Ink and Lyre back in order to do like a continuation of a one-shot that we previously did. But there's so much content apparently from their new book, Stargazer's Guide to Aurora, that he is going to be doing a 2-shot follow-up. And then if we have him back again, maybe he'll do a 3-shot follow-up, and then a 4. And then pretty soon we'll just have like a separate campaign for Stargazers.
That's usually how campaigns actually start, is you go, okay, I'll DM like a one-shot for everybody. I know I'm kind of new at this DMing thing. And then 5 years later, you're still DMing the same
Right.
campaign.
Well,
That's just how it works.
That's just me always. I mean, heck, the things that y'all did in the multiverse game that I ran has now affected my home players.
Oh, really? Oh,
'Cause
that's awesome.
They recently went to the hotel at the edge of the multiverse and ended up having to deal with things that, one of them that Uthal let out, which I thought was funny, that one of their old former players caused problems for them now.
Ooh.
Of course.
Yeah, and they went through the foyer that y'all did, but didn't have to fight a purple worm, so that was good.
Well, neither did we, really.
That's fair. Yeah, you got that was
True.
like a half a round.
True, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. Oh, hi, Alicia. Hi.
Hello,
Alicia
hello.
Marie is in
hello.
chat, and I am happy to see all of my
Oh,
friends.
suddenly
Yay.
I'm nervous.
Yes. Be nervous at all of your friends being here to support you.
Right. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe if this cafe one shot goes well, and then who knows what sort of ending you'll have from here. Maybe there'll be a chapter 2 or a chapter 3. We'll see. Or I'll invite you back and put you in charge of all sorts of various businesses. Westgate needs petting zoos, dry cleaners, garbage disposal, waste disposal, etc.
Oh God, actually doing like the like garbage people of Westgate would, I think, kind of be a fun adventure to do.
Have you ever played that video game, Visceral? Man, what's it called? Where you're cleaning up stuff on a space station and you're just the janitor.
No, I have heard of that though. My wife watched a bunch of actual or let's plays with that.
Hmm. I also totally thought you were just making up a children's book series. Westgate needs a garbage man. Westgate needs a petting zoo. I'm like, this is an interesting children's book series. All right, I'll kickstart this thing, sure. Also,
Be
I
great.
the idea that both the character that I played in that game that Trevor ran and this character might both affect future games concerns me in different ways. Like Orkira, I'm less concerned about. I feel like she probably did something well-meaning. This character, we'll see.
See, that's where the fun comes in, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's a one shot, it's non-canonical. You're allowed to do whatever you want. So
Genuinely, like, one of my favorite things about running games where like I have this continuous story is other players in the past making a terrible decision that messes up my current players. It's just it makes me so happy.
absolutely.
like that one time that one of my players turned evil against the entire party, and then his soul got put into a ring, and then years later that ring ended up in the possession of the party, and one of them put it on and had to make a charisma save against that character. And then I had my phone ready because if they had failed, I was gonna text that player, "What does your character do?"
Nice. Love it.
I know you're at work right now, but this is important.
Yeah.
I know you haven't played this character in years. I need to know right now. RP for me on text. I bet you they did too. I bet you
they ended up passing. Otherwise, yeah, I know they would have, and it would have been evil because they like messing up players.
I mean, if you ever want to text somebody and be like, hey, could you not focus on work, but focus on something that's much more fun for a while, like be friends on Discord.
Deal.
I have had my partner's game friends message me asking about rules stuff, which is always interesting because I'm like, well, what does your DM say? And they're like, well, we're just trying to figure out what the actual rule is. And you know things. So tell us about a bag of holding. I'm like, well, how long do you actually have? All right, let's get into this. But that's always a moment when I'm on the couch taking care of something and I get the message and then I look over at Luke and I'm like, Luke, what's going on with the bag of holding? Why is everybody texting me? Tell your DM that whatever they want goes.
I loved when my sister-in-law lived with us because she's also a forever DM. And there was one game that I was running here in the house and the player wanted to do something. I was just like, this is a first for me, but I need to sidebar with another DM real quick. And I went out to the living room. I was like, Allie.
That's great.
We all need one of those hotlines.
Yeah.
Those old school 1-800 hotlines you could call and be like,
Yes.
hello. I think Jeremy Crawford actually made a joke about that happened like one day that they had a hotline that you could call and get DM advice.
Oh God.
I
So
would have called.
in my group of friends, we have a joke at that sometimes my friend Dale will put in his games, like if something goes wrong, if you roll this, if you every time you use this sword, you have to roll a D100. If you roll within this range, tell Dale. It's very vague.
Amazing.
Because maybe that's not defined when he's come up with the item. It's like, maybe he can, workshop some sort of thing that really suits the situation you're in to be exciting and interesting and change the parameters of the game somehow. But like, seriously, like if anybody in our group has a DM question, that the hotline is also tell Dale, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I got excited for that because I could totally see the potential of that. Like any sort of meta thing that could break out of the game, because of a role is hilarious fun by me. Especially like if you do certain things like sendings or like communications that could occur like across the planes. It could turn into real fun, like truth or dare amongst your real life friends.
oh, Dale is an amazing DM. He is like my DM mentor, I guess. So if you ever have a chance to watch a game that he has run, I really recommend it. That's my friend at Tbug on Twitter. So that's my plug for Dale being very clever.
Awesome.
Love it.
So Meyer Doug in the chat says a DM hotline has been suggested as far back in Dragon Magazine as in the 80s. Huh.
I mean,
So
Still needs to
I'm not
happen.
surprised I did not have an original idea. That's okay.
is there no like genuinely accepted like ask a DM advice service?
Or even just a Twitter account
I
that
just go to
What about a
Google.
You could tweet it.
podcast? Surely you could write in your ideas and a panel of DMs would
Kath-
love to weigh in on what they
Kathleen.
think.
Kathleen, I don't think you know this, but
Ooh.
mentioning podcast ideas around me is dangerous.
I'm a
Trevor will make it
contributor.
happen.
Literally, it's what's my idea to do is to try and have interesting ideas of things that people want and then make them if nobody else is making them. And maybe somebody else will make it better again. Then I'll be the first person. So is there seriously no podcast or anything like that?
No, because there's a bunch of D&D podcasts where it's people talking about like, it's just like, oh, this is how we do things in our D&D game, or like, here's my advice on this, that kind of conversational thing. But I don't think there has been one where people specifically write in with problems that get answered. I actually think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I can't think of anything myself. I can think of some shows like that, some podcasts like that, in where people end up then sending in a question about specifics about their game, but I can't like the Judge Judy of D&D.
This is like the
The
Supreme
Judge
Court of
Judy of
D&D.
D&D.
Pull a panel of judges along the series, or judges, DMs along the signs of like order to chaos, right?
Right, yeah.
So you get a variety of perspectives and stuff like that. And then just, yeah, if you've got some serious problems, you write into us, or tweet into us.
Well, I just love the idea that there's going to be like a plaintiff and a defendant, and they each make their case in front of like 3 DMs.
Your Honor, by Raw, it says here, right in the book.
Oh, it would kill me.
We're calling
man.
the show Rules Lawyer. It's going to be on in like 4 weeks. It's great.
Right,
It's all
yeah.
done. It's all
By
done.
Raw.
Oh my god.
The heart-stoppingly good pun. Oh my god.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
See,
Whew.
the other way that this has to work though is when you submit your question, you then have to abide by whatever the DM ruling is.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think at the end you have to agree, all right, whatever they say goes, even if it's something completely ridiculous. So I think that's how you make
Yes.
this work.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good lord. Yeah, that's the kind of thing where I'm just like, okay, if we could get a bunch of these ahead of time, I would do this, because that would. I
Yeah.
love the idea of that. That's such a good one.
Or you get a bunch of them ahead of time, but then you only do an episode.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you keep it like really short, like 15-minute podcast, something
Oh.
bite-sized.
Exactly. You don't want to be doing like ideally it's kind of an annoying thing to schedule, because like I think maybe you have like 4 to 5 people on this podcast, so you don't want recording to take a long time. Sorry,
Yeah.
how much production garbage do you guys want?
We're in a room of 4 producers, which is why it's dangerous
Yeah,
to talk
this
about any ideas,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a high
I-
chance one of us will take it and make it happen.
Yeah, I completely agree with the 15 minutes. And then yeah, like you put out the call for questions and then you vet a whole bunch and then you just record a whole, like you just clear one afternoon every
Oh,
2
yeah.
months and you get
You could get
8
2 months
done.
of content in an afternoon easy.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah.
It'd be very easy to produce. Love podcasts.
Me too.
Oh god, it's happening before our eyes.
I'm thinking about all the editing I have to do
this
later
is the thing,
now.
though.
Yeah.
This was the thing, though. My wife's gone on a long trip, and she literally said to me, "You are not allowed to start a new podcast while
That's
I'm gone."
so funny.
I have like 6 podcasts. There was precedent for her saying this, and I
Mhm.
was just and she said something about just like, well, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to start anyways, because that free time you'd have to allocate back to me when I get back. And I was just like, only start limited run podcasts. Got it, understood.
Yeah. Well, now you get to tell her that you have 7 podcasts, because you can't pass up on this idea, right?
I mean, yeah.
Listen, it's an entire season already done. We spend an afternoon.
Right?
There's no
Right?
more recording that needs to happen. It's fine.
Right?
It's a light edit. There's
Yeah.
program like ideally maybe I'm making a Trello card in my head, maybe not. Who knows?
I'm already thinking of questions. I'm already because yeah, you'd have to vet the questions ahead of time, but I think you'd want to seed in a couple of things that that group of DMs would have fun.
Oh,
digging
you
into.
could do like the ultimate arguments. Like, just have a couple of them where it's like the ones that always get brought up as an argument at the table.
Oh my god. You guys talking about this makes me want to do a one shot featuring only forever DMs. And I'm just going to throw in every situation that's ever been argued, like hotly debated on the internet, like into this so we can see the debates live.
I love that.
I don't know any of the rules. I would just argue for whatever would make the best like narrative outcome. Yeah, we should let them go through the portal alive. I said no. I mean, that curse might be overstated. Maybe there's a mistranslation.
See, I fall on both sides of it.
I've played in games with other people who have DM'd a lot. And what I have found is when you DM a lot and then you get into a game and you actually get a chance to play, whatever the DM says goes.
Oh, God,
they don't care. It's just
No.
that whatever you say, I don't want to have to think about DMing. I just want to stab things. Just let me stab things for once instead of, having to think about plot. So they're just, I mean, I've seen some wonky things happen in games that are on stream that are totally not by the rules, but super, super fun. And all of the players who are also DMs in the room are just like, yep, absolutely. Yeah. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Once you actually get into a game, it's just like, yes, whatever we need.
All right. Well, if any one of us here starts moving forward on this show, we have to let the other ones know.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
We'll make a Discord chat after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Everybody can weigh in with their windows of availability.
Mhm.
And
Oh no. This
Oh,
is
it's
actually happening
happening?
now.
Live in front of you. Cassius335 says Trevor needs a podcast with his wife will join in on. We have actually talked about that several times, and like album art may have been made, but nothing went forward with it. My wife has this, like, Yang knows this. My wife has this strange ability to like perfectly name something. It is shocking. Like tonight, where something that happens in the game, my wife named in like 2 minutes.
Am I allowed to just message your wife every time I have to name a character? Because that is the worst.
Right?
I mean, that's a new hotline right there.
Yes, namemycharacter.com. Just go and not like the random collection of letters that some of the random generators get you, like an actual name that is tailored to your character.
Mhm.
Oh, thanks so much for the sub, Brian. Sorry.
the random name generators are so disappointing. I've never found one I liked.
Usually what I do is I let it be the base and then I put my own little flair on it, because I never find one just off the bat that I like. And so I'm just like, okay, I like the sound of that one and I like the in sound of that one. I'm going to put those two together.
I just steal from like other like I just like when I was doing, I have not actually run a lot of campaigns. I'm a baby DM. But when I was doing by Law and Order, because it was set on Ravnica, and so I was looking up all the Ravnica stuff, and and I was like, oh, a lot of Ravnican things are named after like Eastern European places. There's a lot of like Romanian and Slovenian names in it and stuff like that. So I just started like looking up common Romanian and Slovenian names, and like from the area, I was like, that would make the most sense, right?
That works.
Or just like old children's books if your characters need to be ridiculous.
For a while, I was grabbing names out of the credits of movies.
Oh,
Just like we'd watch something at home and I'd immediately pull out my phone and be like, okay, because I'd watch the credits anyway, because I have to complain if they don't put the musicians in the credits. And so I have to watch to see if they put the musicians in the credits. But meanwhile, I'm just like, interesting names. You, okay. I think I can pronounce you and you're interesting. Great.
Yeah.
I like that tip. That's a really good tip. Thank you
You
so
have
much,
to
SJ
remember
Magner, for the 5 gift subs.
Ooh,
Sorry.
Thank you.
oh wow.
The problem is remembering it at the time. I usually remember after the movie. I wanted to look. Oh,
But you're distracted watching the movie, right?
right. Yeah.
That's why when we watch that with my husband, normally what I'll do is I'll like shout up like, oh my God, I have to remember that. I have to remember that as a name for a character, because I also have a list of like funny sounding words that could also be people's names. Like malfeasance.
Oh, love that.
Right?
I named a sword that one. So that was, yeah.
So like it's just like but like that could be a person, right? You know, in a particular kind of setting. So I just have a list going of that. But what I'll do is like, I need to remember that. Then I'll get completely distracted watching the movie, and then I go to my husband. I was like, what was that word I wanted to remember? I
The
actually wanted you to remember.
the other suggestion I actually got from one of Trevor's podcasts. Oh, look, it all comes around.
Yeah.
Because you and B. Dave and Aaron talked about getting names by using words and translating them into different languages and seeing what the other language was. And I've got a couple characters that, if I pronounce them the correct way, are an actual word or two in another language. But then, I just put on a bad New York accent and no one knows. Malinky Carbonic, yeah. Malinka, what?
Okay, so it's 6:27, and usually at
Oh,
this time
geez.
we take a quick break right before we begin the game, run some ads, etc. So we'll be back in about 3 minutes. See you soon.